Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome back to Live It Out Inc. Happy Tuesday, everyone. While you're checking in, please remember to click like, subscribe, and tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend about Live It Out Inc. and our mental health podcast. Tonight is going to be another epic night. We're all on our healing journey. We're all getting our gems for our mental health. And tonight is not going to be anything different. So please, while you guys are coming in, please remember to subscribe. Our subscribers are going up. Um, and our theme for tonight is Beyond the Therapy Room. What happens after therapy? Survival, safety, and the courage to heal. And I have another amazing, phenomenal guest here tonight. She's from Chicago, but now living in Nashville. And her handle on Instagram is the Relatable Counselor. So Miss Mandii, if you come on out, Miss Mandii. Hi.
How you doing?
Hi, welcome to Live It Out.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Nice to meet you, Mandii. So first of all, we like to jump right in and get started. So I want you to tell our guests just a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Okay, so my name is Amanda, but I choose to go by Mandii. I'm a licensed mental health counselor here in the state of Tennessee, also certified life coach. I have a background in restorative and criminal justice and psychology. I currently teach both in those fields between criminal justice as far as like intro to criminal justice, ethics, and also forensic psychology as well. Within therapy, I have worked in the prison system, so I do work with the injustice impacted population. Also, working within community health as well, offering services on a sliding scale. And on the personal side, I am a mom of 3 and also a part of a roller coaster group.
Yeah, the roller coaster group sounds fun.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Well, again, welcome to Live It Out Inc. Well, we're gonna jump in. We're gonna talk about when I was doing a little research on your page. Like I said, I was trolling you. I had to go troll you. We saw you was doing some things about Beyond the Therapy Room. We're gonna talk about that a little bit.
All right.
Being a counselor, how is that different from the therapist or the life coach? And it sounds like you dabbled in a little bit of all of them, and you chose to take on the relatable counselor. I love that, the relatable counselor. So talk about that a little bit.
So counselors and therapists kind of interchange unless you're like a school counselor. That's a totally different track. So I do have a background. My master's degree was in clinical mental health counseling. And so the name of the relatable counselor came up was that I wanted to have or to be the therapist or the counselor that I never got to have growing up because of stigma in the Black community.
Right.
And so I started my journey in education. And I was teaching. I was also an academic advisor, and they saw the connection I would have with students and parents and says, you should be our school counselor. And I was like, no, but I can go into the field and do more. And so once I took a couple courses and got used to it, I loved it and just chose to destigmatize the title of therapy and what it looks like. So I tell people all the time, what you see is what you get. If you see me outside naturally, HIPAA, I can't say anything, but I'm a regular human being just like you are, which means I'm going through the exact same thing. I have the exact same emotions and I'm learning as I go. It's the same way as you are. And I am a therapist with a therapist. So I take pride in the name that I do have.
Oh, that's cool. That is so cool.
Yeah.
Now, being in the criminal justice system, you work like with adults or kids?
So I worked with adults. I worked in 3 maximum security prisons down here for the state of Tennessee. I started doing cognitive behavior intervention. So I offered a 6-week program to help those who are wanting parole to learn about trauma, substance abuse, how to handle all that. And they would get certificates to go up to the parole board to see if they can get released early. And from there, once I got licensed, I became a therapist in the system. So I became a prison counselor, so to speak, and during one-on-one sessions and group therapy. And I just told myself, like, this is great, but also I'm impacting people that are already not too far gone, but too far gone. I need to rewind and go back into the community. So that's why I chose to lead the system.
Right, because that's heavy. Going into the prison system,
Yeah.
that is heavy.
Yeah.
Uh, well, you're doing a great work. Now, when we talk about survival in our past decision, I want to ask you this about people.
Okay.
Now, why do you think people sometimes return to the environments or relationships or behaviors that they know are unhealthy? Why do we go back? We know it's unhealthy.
I'm guilty of that too. It's just a comfortability when you try to change and it's not working and you keep falling. It's just okay. Why am I supposed to go back to what I already know? I know how to operate in that chaos in that environment. I already know what I'm getting from that person or from that environment. Might as well thrive in what I already know. Is it healthy? Like you said, no. Heavens no. But also it's a level of fear as well. So say that I didn't get the chance to leave that space or that person. It's the fear of the unknown. It says, what if I don't succeed or I fail without having this attached to me? And that's for some people either fear or also like used to having that victim mindset based off their circumstances. So it really just depends on the person.
Right. Oh, fear is a big one.
Yeah.
People, like you said, people they scared. They scared to step out there. They scared I'm gonna make it. Like I might just get out here and make it. Then what I'm gonna do?
Right.
Um,
And that's a natural response, especially if they're the first ones to do it. So if you're seeing that everyone in your life has lived on welfare or haven't gone to school, and here you are trying to get into these new spaces that no one has ever been able to touch, naturally that's scary for you.
so how do we change that mindset, or how do we condition ourselves to not even want to crave that same environment?
I say get around different spaces. So for me, even growing up in Chicago, I challenged myself to just get out of my norm. So I grew up on the south side and the east side. Okay, well, I want to go downtown. I want to go to the library. I want to go to the museum because a lot of kids that I grew up with never been downtown outside of going to a basketball game, which is actually on the west side.
Right.
So it's just challenging yourself to get around new people, get out of that comfort zone, try new foods, try new places, and actually seeing what you like instead of just being comfortable with what you're used to.
Right. So that's another thing we have to encourage our young people to do. Don't be afraid to come outside of your comfort zone. Don't be afraid to explore and expose yourself to different things. Now, that this question leads up to how do childhood experiences influence the decisions we make as adults?
Ooh.
Yeah. And this
Um,
and the more research I do, this question keeps coming
coming
up.
up.
It keeps coming up. Even when I did research in therapy, I did research in life coaching, I did research in and being a counselor. This question keeps coming up. So it's something with this childhood trauma that we're missing or that we're not addressing or that needs to be addressed.
I think it first starts off in the home, right? So kids, we learn what's safe by our parents or by our guardian. So if we see that how they're behaving and acting is not safe, we typically pick up on that. We pick up on behaviors that works for them and we attach it to ourselves. Um, and for us, it's that, which I always tell people, whatever age you had your most traumatic event, you kind of just get stuck there and then you just physically go around that. So say for example that I was essayed at the age of 9. My mindset at that point was like, I don't trust my family because they should have protected me. I don't trust men or older men. Those risky behaviors start popping up, promiscuity starts popping up. And as I get older, I'm growing and developing, but my mindset's still going back to this one event that I just cannot get rid of or choose not to acknowledge. Even when you suppress things, they're going to come back up in
Right.
anger. They're going to come back up in frustration. They're going to come back up in fear, and they're going to come back up in depression and sadness. So it really just depends on if you have those tools and what your family or support system look like. If you felt supported in those traumatic moments, are they helping you get out, like mentally get out of that deep dark space, or are they keeping you there? Are they
Right.
enabling the person or the situation? It truly all depends, but we learn at a young age what safety looks like and we just warp around that until we are comfortable as adults to challenge those environments and moments to like, okay, I can no longer live like this.
And but it seems like it takes so long. Because when people start facing a childhood trauma, they like in their 40s and 50s, and all of a sudden it takes a certain person to die or something happened to them, and then like, why you acting like that? Then all the secrets come out and everything start busting loose. It's like, oh, so this it makes sense now, the reason why you didn't come around the family, or you acted like this, or you did this and you was this way towards that. When again, like I said, this is something that keeps coming up, and I guess it's something that we do need to make it a norm to discuss, that holding that childhood trauma or those family secrets, you need to bring them to the forefront. You need to address them, so you can move on and be a healthy adult, because it's a lot of unhealthy adults out here that's living with this trauma, this childhood trauma.
But
And
it's all based off as it gets discussed. So, I mean, even in Chicago, for me, gun violence was normal for me. I mean, hearing gunshots, going to school, going to bed, I never challenged that until I literally moved here. And I was like, oh, it's quiet.
right.
I told them, like, you can hear the birds outside. They was like, yes, you don't hear that? I said, no, we have pigeons. You don't
Right.
you know? I'm like, I'm used to hearing trains and ambulance like around the clock. And so it's just that until I got to challenge it. And then when I was in my program, I was like, oh, this was not normal, even down to like how my parents would talk to me and handle conflict. I'm like, that's not normal for you to experience that. Okay. So it really just depends how challenged you are when you leave, and then you truly sit and see how uncomfortable you are. But again, it's just based off the person. If they choose to stay, to like keep suppressing and stay uncomfortable, or like, hey, no, I need to address this to be a better person. And it's by choice if you want to be a better person or have the same mindset.
Right, absolutely. Well, thank you for that.
Yeah.
So, when does taking responsibility for our past become healthy, like healthy accountability, and when does it become shame? Because even with the past, we have to take some some responsibility. Like if I made a bad choice, I have to say, hey, I made some bad choices in life. And because I made some bad choices, these are some circumstances or some situations that I got myself into.
Yeah.
So now I got to hold myself responsible and be accountable for it. But I got to do it without shame. How I do it without feeling like, oh, now I'm dealing with it internally because I don't want nobody to know. I don't want nobody to see my secrets or my shame.
So you hit it right on the head. So only way is just shameful if you care what others think. Because at the end of the day, your healing's for you. It's not gonna pay anyone else's bills. It's not gonna affect their day. Your healing is for you. So if you choose to go, well, what are they gonna think? Which means you have this high ego and you built your identity around people's approval or some type of status. True strength comes from acknowledging and being accountable for your actions and going from there, like admitting that, okay, I was wrong and I need help. Shame's like it's gonna come and go, but it's all about how you handle it and if you choose to handle it.
Okay. I hope y'all jotting down these gems here. Now, when we talk about our current desires, now we've been in survival mode. We start talking about our current desires. And I can speak for me. I've always tried to get in my life to a place of peace. And when I say peace, it's like I'm happy in my space. I have my boundaries. I now have my emotional vocabulary. I know how to protect it. But why can peace feel uncomfortable to someone who's so used to living in chaos? They don't know what that some peace will feel like isolation, or it feels different.
And it's crazy. I just dealt with something like this. I have a friend who says, like, when everything in his life is too calm, that's when it's like, okay, I need to be moving and going, spark something up. And it's like, why? Enjoy the calm before the next storm. You can get off the lower, strongest soldier list for a little bit before you go back on.
Right.
And it's just that, again, when you're so used to operating in chaos and moving, and sometimes as well, like even as women, we get our motivation from chaos. Like we are at our highest when like we are heartbroken or something's going wrong and we are needed. It's like, okay, I can do all these things at once. And as soon as we have peace and calmness, we feel depleted, and it's like, this doesn't feel right. I need to be doing something. I need to be productive. But rest is productive as well. Peace is also productive, and that's something that you have to train and tell yourself.
Okay, so we need to get into some emotional training. Let's
Yes.
get into some emotional training. Now, what does emotional safety actually look like? Not just physically, but mentally and relationally wise. Like, what does that safety look like? You know, they even what Cardi B got a song with somebody. I just want to feel safe. Just want to
Oh
be
yes, with Kalani.
yeah, with Kalani. So everybody is on this I want to be safe thing. So what does that look like in like for people, not just women but men as
Yeah.
well?
Um, it looks like someone learning about you and not using it against you. And so, like we just said a little bit, a lot of our past can be shameful and we hide it. And so, to finally have a person that we deem safe, where we're comfortable with, we can be mentally, emotionally naked with, and we can tell them about all things and it won't be tossed back in our face.
Right.
You know how to handle my emotions when I have my happy moments and sad moments, or I don't feel like I'm up to par. Same thing on the other end. I know a man can tie his identity into being a provider, and there are days where, or months, where financially it's not there. And that goes to him feeling less of a man. It's like, no, you offer other things. Your provision is more than just financial, it can
Right.
be in other ways. And that can also make a man feel safe. Um, Emotional safety looks like attentiveness, consistency. And I stand on consistency. If you're doing it one day, I expect you to do it again and again and again, and vice versa. Because once you see, like, I can depend on you, you're reliable, you're feeling even more safe. Like I say, I love to act like a blonde. If I know my partner knows my favorite snacks, when I get distracted, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to think. If I feel like I can shut off my brain with you, I'm
Right.
safe enough to
Absolutely.
trust your judgment, your decision, your leadership. I love to be a blonde.
Right.
And for me,
Right.
that feels safe because as a Black woman, if I'm on go, 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 which I am from 5 a.m. till whew, until a little bit close to midnight, I'm on go, 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 go. And it's like, if I can shut my brain off with you, you are the safest person I know. I don't want to think. I want to jibber jabber. I want to
Right.
think.
Right.
And most importantly is sleep. I always say this: if I can sleep around you, you're safe, because typically I'm always on guard.
That's true. That's so true. And I've had somebody to say, I can only sleep when I'm with you. So I was
I
like,
mean, my
okay,
most
so
vulnerable, and
yeah.
know that you're not going to hurt me. You're not going to take
Right.
anything, that you're watching over me, and I can finally just breathe. And taking
Breathe.
that deep breath is the most important thing. And that's like the safest feeling in the world.
Ooh, that emotional safety. That's what, ooh, Lord Jesus, that's a big one for me. Emotional safety is real big for me.
Yeah.
So, what happens when your desires have changed, but the people around you still expect the old you?
Ooh, I do this with my family now. I tell them, you get a new me every year. Expect it. I'm going to want to learn something new. I'm going to want something new. I'm going to, same thing. As quick as I change my underwear, as quick as I change my desires. My
Right,
plan won't change, but the things I attach to that plan or that catches my attention will change, because I'm going to want to grow and want more, and you should want that as well. So if you're expecting the old me, that means you have gotten, or I've allowed you to get way too comfortable in seeing me in a different light. And I need you to
ooh,
step it up and see me in this light. And if you can't, then those boundaries kick in.
right, girl. You just said a mouthful in. I've allowed you too comfortable.
I
I've
allowed you to get
get
too
too
comfortable. And
complacent.
family has a habit of doing it. It's like, oh, hey, little bit, don't call me that.
Right.
Hey,
No,
I
I'm not
have
ready.
a I have a name now.
Right. And they bad at it. You
Mhm.
can hear, you can be out and they'll call that name from a long time ago. I said, that ain't nobody but somebody from my old childhood.
Yes, and it's
Yeah, don't do
recognize
that
that
to
I
me.
am not that. I love the memories, but I don't live there anymore. You need to come to the present.
Yes. We're gonna pause and take a question from the online audience.
Mhm.
Duck, if you can pull the question up for me. Can you see it, Mandy? Or
Yes, when dating, when is a good time to let your partner know when you're in therapy? When you feel safe enough to. Okay. I told my partner immediately. I tell everybody, I'm a therapist with a therapist, but I have also seen on the other side as a therapist that I've had a client who that's been used against them. So you need to, I would say, get a good feel for the person, test out the situation. If you feel vulnerable in certain aspects, then you should be able to state that and be like, hey, like this is what I've been working on. Some people do it off the rip,
right.
but I have seen it where people say it for an aesthetic and don't mean it. So if you mean it, if you're actually doing the work and taking that time to work on you and heal you, by all means, go ahead and
So
mention it.
I'm glad you said that part. So how important is it to do the work when you're in therapy? Because some people just go to therapy and be like, yeah, I'm in therapy, but are you doing the work?
I tell clients automatically in the consultation, I won't waste your time if you won't waste mine. If we're not going to be honest, then we have nothing to discuss. We can have a good kiki and everything, but when you want to do the work, then we can do that. But I tell anybody, I don't want you to waste your money or time thinking that you're going to get a yes person because that's not who I am.
Right, right. Do the work. If you're in
Yes,
therapy,
doing the
please
work is
guys
very
do the work.
important.
Um, Now you mentioned vulnerability, so we're gonna touch a little bit on vulnerability. So, in your opinion, is vulnerability weakness or is it a form of emotional courage?
I think it's strength all the way around, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. Emotionally, showing that vulnerability is very, 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 very scary because you don't know what people are going to do with it, but also it's scary for yourself because you typically haven't touched that part of you yet. So when you
Right.
get to that, it's like, whoo, nervous, shakes, everything. So there's strength in that, right? Spiritually, hey, I talk to God every day and I tell him when I'm sad, mad, angry. And for me,
Get it
that's
all.
yeah,
Hmm.
I tell God I'm angry almost every day.
Yeah.
But that's a true level of vulnerability for me because when I haven't had anybody to talk to or I don't feel like I'm safe enough to open to other people, I'm going to run to him. It's like, hey, I'm weak right now in every single aspect. And for me, that's strength because I know that I'm not going to be let down and I'm getting it out of my system instead of suppressing it, right? Same thing relational wise. I think vulnerability is just it could be a very beautiful thing when you share it or experience it with the right
The right,
person
the right person.
and within your capacity.
Okay, so how can someone reflect on their behavior without beating themselves up when if they're being vulnerable? And they're reflecting on their behavior, but not beat yourself up because people go into a frantic like, oh, I'm not this, I'm not that. And they vulnerable with themselves, but they beat themselves up about it and they end up feeling worse than they were feeling before then.
Mm, as a human
Oh,
being, I can't tell anybody don't beat yourself up because we tend to do that anyway. Even with the smallest mistake, we are literally bumping our heads against the wall. It's
right.
really just about how you recover from finally acknowledging that those moments. So I tell anybody, experience what you need to experience, feel what you need to feel, but don't sit and stay in it.
That's
Feel
it.
it and then recover.
That's
'Cause
it.
the longer
So,
you do it, the harder it's gonna be.
so is that part of like self-reflection? And
Yes.
yeah, and when we're doing self-reflection, um, is it certain times that we should self-reflect or it's just moments in life where we just gonna automatically think, hey, I need to step back and do some self-reflection? Or should we like say, hey, I'm at this point in my life, let me self-reflect, self-evaluate and see if I've done what I've said I was gonna do, if
Yeah.
I've grown, if I've evolved, or if I'm still stagnated, or have I taken a turn for the worse? if I'm gonna be honest with myself.
Yeah. Um, Personally, I do like a weekly check-in, which I
Okay.
call a reflection. But as far as something in depth, I should say once a month, outside of you journaling what you've experienced, you should be checking yourself because it can be a scenario or situations where you're like, I could have handled this differently. Now, if you ignore it, it's going to continue to get worse. So I would say do weekly check-ins, but do literally once a month in-depth reflections for sure.
Okay. So even when we know exactly what we're doing,
Mhm.
but we still struggle to change it. We know what needs to change. We know what we need to do, and we just struggle to change it. The mindset is just stubborn. Is
Mhm.
that just the personality, or that's the person? Um, that's who we are on the inside, or do we really want to change?
It just depends. There are some people who want to change and don't know how, and there are some people
Yeah,
who don't want to change because they benefit from being the victim. But I always ask anybody, what does the situation serve you? What are you getting out of this? If you're not growing from it, if it's not benefiting you in any aspect, why stay in this predicament or with this mindset? If you know you have nothing to gain from what you have right now, what do you have to lose by changing it?
by changing it, right? Sometimes you just have to say, "Let's see what happens."
Yes, let's see what happens. And if it doesn't work out, try something else new. Don't go
Trust.
back to comfortability.
Absolutely, don't go back. Okay, we're
Mhm.
gonna pause again. Um, we had a couple of questions in the chat. Duck, if you want to pull up another question from the chat for me.
How vulnerable can you be with your therapist? Woo, my therapist knows when I everything, everything from top to bottom. Crying, ugly tear, snot nose. Be as vulnerable as you need to be. At the end of the day, we have HIPAA for a reason. What you share with us is what you share with us. It
Right,
stays in the room. We create the safe space with you and around you and your needs. Um, if you feel like you cannot be vulnerable with your therapist, get a new therapist. That's a problem. If you feel like you cannot open up with your therapist, that you're hitting a constant roadblock and you're trying to progress and nothing's changing, get a new therapist.
get a new therapist. If you can't be vulnerable with your therapist, get
Mhm.
a new therapist.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all keep the questions coming. We're gonna move on to high functioning depression.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I think a lot of us walking around like this. Excuse me. So, what does depression look like when someone is still going to work, you still raising children, paying bills, laughing, and you appear successful?
It looks just like that. It looks
It
like
looks
a normal face. You wouldn't be, it could look like your boss. It could look like your sister. It could look like your pastor. You
right,
never know. I mean, and quite honestly, no one wants to juggle 20 things a day and then still try to tend to themselves or other people because now at this point you're operating from an empty cup and then you're still trying to find something to pour out of you and you don't have it. That's what high functioning depression looks like. Your body is moving out of formality. Like you got to get up. I don't want to get up, but here I am. I'm up at 5. Do I want to do drop off? No. Do I want to make lunch? No. But your mind goes, if I don't do it, who will?
you will.
Who's going to fill in this space? And it always goes to nobody. So you force yourself to do it, that you're not having pleasure in it anymore. And it's starting to feel like a chore. And then when it comes to work, if you feel like it's not just benefiting you, but also the fear of, especially in the economy right now, no one can really afford to lose a job or not to have a job or some type of income. So you can't leave your job. You're probably not being appreciated. The work is too much. The pay doesn't match. And then sometimes it could be an unhealthy work environment. But what do? We suck it up and we keep
Mm-hmm.
the ball rolling because if we don't do it, who's going to do it?
Mm-hmm.
And that also ties into fear as well. If letting something drop or we let go of it, no one's going to pick it back up. So we're picking up everything at once and trying to keep functioning. That's what that looks like.
Okay, our high functioning depression people, we got to get it together. So, like constantly being the strong one, can
Mhm.
it become emotionally dangerous?
Yes. Yes. And I've been there and I tell my story all the time. I am the strong friend. I'm the strong sibling. I used to get into fights for my siblings. hands down. They will call my
Right.
name. I'm running across the school swinging. But it got to a point where my senior year of college in 2017, where I tried to commit suicide because I was just exhausted. And the same thing, no one's going to come rescue me, no one's going to come save me, no one's going to handle what I can handle, no one can handle all the roles. Me being a first generation student as well, who's going to put our name on the map? I just had so much weight, and I was like, you know what? Screw it. So, I mean, being true strong can be dangerous if you do not have that support or that community to help you continue to have strength.
Wow. Okay. What are some warning signs families and friends should pay attention to? Or do they even pay attention to the strong one?
They don't, because
Yeah.
we're strong. You're gonna call on me. Like even now, I'll have one of my friends like, "Hey, I have this case. Can you go over it for me?" Does it look like I want to go over this for you? I want to
Right.
take a nap. I want to relax. But also, again, I realize I have an issue with sometimes saying no, because if I'm not going to do it, who are they going to go to? Because they clearly think I have the expertise for this and they're wanting my opinion, and they know like I can handle it. So I mean, gosh.
So we hadn't figured that strong one out yet.
No, I think people need to, and social media is doing a good job of making those memes and posts that saying like check on your strong
Strong,
friends,
strong
the one
friend.
that's smiling or always joking and laughing, because that is true. The one who's always the funniest sometimes are the ones who's dealing with substance abuse, depression and anxiety, or even PTSD. You never know, because
Right.
you got to sometimes laugh and keep from smiling. And sometimes making others happy make you happy. That's
Right.
how you
Right.
function. So when people are displeased, it's like it hits all
Yeah.
at once.
Oh wow. Now what if your success is actually, and this was triggering to me. What is if your success is actually helping you hide from your pain? And if so, is that safe mentally? Like you're successful, you dealing with the depression, the anxiety, the stress, the PTSD,
Yeah.
whatever it is, but you successful and you constantly on the go. You're not worried about your bills, or you're not worried about everyday day-to-day life operation, but you're suffering on the inside. So you still hiding that pain, you still defunctioning, you still high functioning depressed,
Hmm.
but you're managing it because you're hiding it. You're hiding the pain.
That that is true on both sides. You can be successful and also still be heavily depressed, and you're just able to mask it because people literally only see your success or the end result and not what you're going through to get there. And
Right.
yes, if we're thinking from a financial aspect, we have a house, we have a car, we have all bills paid, but are you genuinely happy? Like no one's thinking about the journey to get to this and stay at this height and magnitude. And that's also very dangerous because you're only looking at what you're reaping from the benefits, not
Right.
the actual issue.
And not because it could be anything like a health battle. It could be that you get in the house and you drinking heavily. Um, it can be substance abuse. Like you got people that are functioning alcoholics and functioning
Mhm.
um addicts that get up still going to work, paying bills and doing all of that, but you suffering so bad on the inside.
Yeah,
Um,
you just never know what someone's actually running from.
right,
Anything on the outer or surface is always there to mask up, but you need to figure out like what internally is going on. But again, it's up to them to open up and acknowledge it as well, to, that they see it as a problem. Some people don't see it as a problem.
and then that's the problem, because if you don't see it as a problem, how can I help you if you don't even recognize that it's a problem? You don't acknowledge that it's a problem. So then what we
Well,
just
yeah, they may not know what help looks like. It's like this how I've been functioning. It's worked. That's the word. It's worked. So
it works for
what
me.
is it? Yeah.
Yeah. So do you just give up?
No. you,
Like, do you
you
leave them alone
still
and be like, hey?
no, you still pry, you still show that you're there. You still, I'm very big on support and community, even if it's like I have a twin that we do like a 1 month check in now. It used to be more check ins, but it's like, hey, I only have the capacity for you all to reach out once a month. So it's like, okay, I'll do it. whatever's in your capacity. And if you want to vent, you can vent. It just depends.
Oh, okay. Okay. So leaving that door open.
Yeah, leave it cracked for them to reciprocate and be accepting of what they need within their capacity, and then you do it in return.
Right. Okay. Absolutely. So we're gonna move on. This is good, Mandy. This is good. We're gonna move on to self-sabotage,
Ooh,
the black man.
ooh,
And I'm real big on this because
yeah,
um we're finding that men need to be protected. Our black
mhm,
men need to feel protected. They need to know what emotional safety is. They need to know what mental health, having a healthy mental life looks like,
mhm.
their emotional safety and all of that stuff. And not just being a provider, like you said, you're not just the provider, you're
Yeah.
more than just the provider. So when we talk about the black man self-sabotaging, why do they struggle to admit that I need help?
I believe from several factors, even just from working with black men to dating a black man. One factor is the male blueprint is totally flawed. You're getting it from men who judge other men, which I've seen, which I never understand, being raised by a single mother, or being raised in a two-parent household. It's like you can't win. If I have one, if I don't have the other, or if I have the other and don't have one, what is it? Why am I being judged for this? Then it goes down to how they handle their emotions. I've seen it with my brothers. Like you get told to suck it up and get beat on the chest if you're shedding tears. So having that vulnerability is not safe, but anger is accepted. You know,
Right.
which
Yeah.
I understand. I don't understand, but I understand. Because that's the first thing that a man can acknowledge and see. Like, okay, you angry, yeah, beat your chest. Now what else is going on? And also when it comes to just venting, they have to do it within certain spaces that they deem safe. It would be like the basketball court, the gym, the barbershop. And they go is just based off where they have seen a routine. So we're like, this is safe, this is not safe, this is safe, this is not safe. Now, when it comes to on the other in relationship wise, I have learned that ego and pride are a very big thing. And
Right.
so as women, we may tell a man, hey, you don't have to be like this. It's okay. And we're coming in as the nurturer and all the things, and that can push them away because they're not always accepting of that because
Hmm.
they're not used to that. But I do think it's important to protect the black man, but I also think black men need to be protecting each other and holding each other accountable because at the end of the day, they can be each other's biggest enemies. Like when I look on the internet, even though the agenda is pushed for men and women to dislike each other, it's always a man versus a man. And it
Right.
never
Right.
fails. And
Right.
I never understand it. It's like you guys can have civil conversations, agree to disagree without coming for each other's jugular and thinking that they're less than because they experience life this way instead of another way.
Oh, excuse me. Good. Okay. So, what happens when a man has never been given the permission to be broken?
It can come out of multiple ways. It can come
Okay.
out as anger because here we are giving him permission and he does not know how to regulate those emotions or voice that out safely. And women, we can, or just anybody in general, can be very understanding to the point where like they give up and it goes, I knew you were going to do that, I told you that was going to happen, da da da. And it's like, no, I'm giving you the space and the opportunity to do this and be this. You're choosing not to take it and you're fighting me along the way.
Right. Right. So, with them not, but do they need permission to be broken?
Honestly, no, but some are looking for it because of again what they tie their strengths to.
So, what would you say to a black man who says, like you said, I survived everything I've been through. I don't need therapy. I'm good. I done survived all of this. I survived the streets. I survived jail. I done survived everything. I'm good. I don't need no therapy. I don't need to do nothing. But you can clearly see that this man is broken.
I had two clients like that. And I told them, okay, well, let's just talk. Let's just talk about what's on your mind. How's your day gone? And when they'll bring up something uncomfortable, I'll say, okay, where is that stemming from? Where is that coming from? And then they'll make them think. So I just rephrase it as from therapy to really it just being a vent session. Like, let's just talk, let's just vent and go from there. Even when it comes down to treatment planning, I know what it is and how it should be going, but it just takes a lot of cognitive reframing to get them on board. But also there's that man who says that and does not engage, and it goes, okay, I still show up in the same manner. Like, no matter what, I'm gonna say,
No
okay,
matter
well,
what.
I'm here if you need me. I'm gonna let
Right.
you hear if you need me. And we eventually get to the point where they're ready to open up and converse, even if it's just like a friend's like, okay, like, what's wrong? What's wrong, friend? What happened? And it's like, oh, um, I finally got to talk to my dad, and this and this and this happened. Okay, how did that make you feel? Let's say these things out loud, and it helps. It's just, it just depends on how willing they are to engage with you.
Right. And it's hard to get a black man to open up.
Mm-hmm.
Real hard. So if he does feel safe around you, that's a good thing. And I hope that women know what to say.
We
Um,
don't, and that's
be
the thing, because every man is different, and I stand on that. Like, every man may have had similar experience, but them themselves are completely different in how they react to certain scenarios. Like, two boys can be raised in the same household with an alcoholic dad. One is going to run to the alcohol, the one is going to run away from it.
right.
Same experience, same timeline, everything. It just depends. So, just as us as women, we'll have things to say, but we genuinely don't know what to say. So that's why I said all you can do is just be there and show that you're there if you have no words. And sometimes that's enough.
That's enough. Sometimes we just need to really listen.
Hmm.
Just listen. And if you need feedback, or if you need me to follow up, uh, I'm gonna give it a minute before I come back. I'm gonna really think about what you're saying, because I'm a person that people just open up to, and I've had grown men cry their
Hmm.
eyes out, in a most vulnerable state. And the first time it happened, I was like, whoa, like, ooh, you
Hmm.
go get yourself together, honey. But as I got older and start realizing the trauma and what was going through, I learned how to listen to the subliminal messages in the conversation. Okay, so you've been hurt. Oh wow. Uh, and men would take some secrets to the grave.
Oh yeah.
They would take some secrets to the grave with them. Um, and I'm talking about just the manly man, the man. He just not, maybe one day, but the ones I met, they gonna stand on it. I'm a man at the end of the day. I'm a man. When I wake up, I'm a man. When I
And
lay
I
down,
challenge that every time. What does that mean? You're a man. What does that mean? And I'll say, do not tie it to your gender profile. What does it
right,
mean to be a man?
absolutely. And a lot of times they can't really define that.
Or give a, yeah, not a clear definition. So
I
I say,
get it.
what is you? What does a man do in your definition? Like, what does this look like? And again, I always try to, like, do not tie it to provision. Do not tie it to anything financial. What is a man to you? What is
Outside
a
of
man?
that,
Yep. How does a man? How is a man supposed to show up? How does a man communicate? Like, I challenge all those things. Now, if you don't have an answer for that, that means you haven't explored that route or went in depth to figure it out what it is to you or for you.
right? And I definitely agree with you when you said that men should support other men. And
Mhm.
that's a shout out to my boy Rabir Sparks, and I think he in Ohio. That's exactly what he does. He was on a show a couple of weeks ago, and that's his whole mission thing. And I wish it was more, more
Yeah.
like that, so men could feel safe. We're gonna take a couple of more questions from the audience. Duck, if you want to pull up another question.
Where is the line between vulnerability and victimization? Ooh, some people take empathy for granted and will use your heart against you. So how can you discern when someone's being vulnerable, victimizing themselves? Um, a person who's victimizing themselves will expose a pattern, and that's the quickest way to put it. They will expose a pattern. If How can I put this? Say you scrape your knee, and the person says, "Well, I scraped my forehead." And so that's why the way I am. It's like, why is that an excuse to be this way? Every scenario, they have a rebuttal to say, and then it ends with, well, that's just the way I am. That's just the way I think. That's victimization. That's not taking accountability for anything. And also, again, if those scenarios that they benefit from it and you're challenging them to change and they won't, they're choosing to stay the victim. Some people's story literally is to be the victim as well. My mom permed my hair when I was 8 years old, and that's why I was bald. Well, we're adults now. You can get these
Right,
mistakes and have long hair. Like, but no, but my mama did this. That's why I'm not friends with my mom no more. Okay, we are in our 30s. You can
right,
communicate, and also you can grow your hair. It's just that. Why be stuck in that mindset?
right. And that's the this just the way I am, or this
Yeah,
how I am.
that
I,
phrase and those pattern recognitions. That's where the line
that's my
is.
cue. That's my cue to let you be you. That's my
Mm-hmm.
cue to leave, let you go on and do whatever it is that you're doing. Because I
Yeah.
don't accept that. If I don't like what you're doing or the behavior or how you moving, and your answer to me is that that's just how I am.
All
Okay,
right.
well
Okay. You're right.
you like
That's how
that
you
over
roll.
there. That's fine. Okay, we got another question up before we move on. Because this is good. I want to touch on co-parenting a little bit. I'm trying to hit everything.
Are there different forms of therapy? If so, which one you find effective? So we call the modalities. So yes, there are multiple modalities. There is EMDR, there is narrative, which I like, there is motivational therapy, there is trauma informed therapy, somatic therapy. The most effective that I find for people of color is EMDR, and that'll help you safely recollect experiences and events that are traumatic, and you handle them in a safer manner rather than just talk and dump. But I also love narrative therapy. I love letting people tell their stories and give it back to them in the manner that they need to, and then I just come on the back end with it. Um, there is talk therapy, like I said, aka venting. If you just want to talk the whole time and you want me ain't say anything back, go for it. Sometimes someone just wants you to listen. So empathetic listening comes in. But there are multiple modalities, but the most effective definitely are those who have a trauma background attached to it.
Okay. That's good to know. See, I just learned something new just then.
Yeah.
Good question. Good question. We're gonna dab a little bit into high conflict co-parenting.
Ooh.
Yeah, I saw you kind of dabbed on that a little bit,
Yeah.
and I know a lot of young people that's trying to they trying their best to co-parent out here today. They trying so hard.
Yeah.
Um, so first of all, what happens when the relationship ends but the conflict doesn't? I'm done. We done. But we got a baby.
So there's a way to effectively co-parent, but if you realize that the other parent, and I hate to say the word, is bitter or choose to be aggressive or always difficult, I believe, which is what I do now, I parallel parent. What you do in your house is your house. What I do in my house is my house. We should have the same common ground when it comes to the child, but I don't overstep and you don't overstep. And if you choose to overstep, I just document it and give it to the courts when I need to give it to the courts. But at the end of the day, I don't allow that person to have that much power over me and my life and my decisions when it comes to my child. But there are some people who genuinely do try, like, we got to figure it out for the kids. Um, or you can only be with me for it to get to the child. And that's where I say, hey, the legal system, court is scary, but get everything on paper.
Right.
Protect yourself by all
Yeah.
means. And that goes for men as well. Sometimes it does take you, and it can be very draining as a father, but sometimes it does take for you to go to court and get those rights and get what you want in black and white. You can't argue what's on paper. You can argue what's in a text message now because you can delete these messages. And you can argue with hearsay verbally because no one, um, it will never stand in court. Like, oh, well, they said this. Did they say this? Did you record it? Did you catch it on video?
Right.
But the biggest thing with high conflict parents is, like, just protect your peace, just
Protect your peace.
by
Absolutely.
all means.
So with the unresolved hurt between parents, how does that affect the children?
Um, it affects them in a manner that if a parent has not healed or gotten over the situation, which I know I have in my court documents, they'll badmouth you in front of the child, so the child starts viewing you differently. They'll go against your parenting suggestions or experience. So say that my son has to be in bed by 9. If you're allowing him to stay up to 10:30, you're messing up our schedule. Like, you're doing that by choice to
Right.
make me upset. Um, there are some high conflict parents that choose to let their child go without because the other parent won't do in their mind. It, at the end of the day, no one wins.
Nobody wins.
Nobody wins.
Nobody wins. So, what does healthy communication look like when you don't trust or even like the other parent?
Oh, oh, get out of my prayer closet. Ugh. Um, for me, I keep everything on a court appointed co-parenting app. And I always make sure that conversations are strictly about the child.
Right.
That's what healthy communication looks like. So if it goes to the moment it goes to something emotional, I go, hey, I'm not going to respond to this. Let's revert back to what we're discussing. If you can't, talk to me later when you can. Like,
Right.
that's me reclaiming my peace and power, and also keeping it healthy, because then that holds me accountable, also the other party accountable if it goes left.
So, how do you establish those boundaries without punishing the child? Because, like you said, you had a good example. You said you at your house is 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Over there, it might be 10:30. So, how do you establish those boundaries without punishing or making the child feel like they're being punished?
Oh, I never. That's one thing. I think kids know routine and they
Mhm.
know the home. So I can say I'm the bad cop and dad is the good cop. You can go over there and have all the juice you want and bounce up and down and flip off the couch, but at mommy house, baby, feet on the floor.
Feet on the floor.
So I won't say the child would be punished. It's more so how the parent handles it. But
Right.
also, again, you have that power to where if you feel like your child is being punished or mishandled by the other parent because of the co-parenting conflict, go to court.
Right.
Do an emergency temporary order. It'll be handled within that week, and say, hey, this and this and this is going on. It needs to be fixed or changed, and not put fire under the other parent's butt to get it together or give me the child.
Right. Oh, okay. So
There's
how do
ways
you
around that.
protect? So how do you protect your peace without withholding necessary communication? But you already answered that because you said it's a app. It's
Yes.
a communication app that's out there.
Yes. So before it used to be the Family Wizard. Right now, the app is App Close. It's an orange and white app. It's APP Close. And so I've just learned how people can manipulate text messages. It can be deleted, it can be
Mhm.
edited. You can go, oh, I never see that. Oh, I never got that phone call. Well, have no fear. App Close is here. Okay.
Right.
So the app, in the app, you cannot edit, you cannot delete messages. You can have recorded phone calls if you want. And it keeps a transcript of you logging in and out of the app, and the other person can see it. So they can say,
Wow.
oh, I never got your text message. That's a lie. It
It's
shows that you were just here. So again, it holds you accountable and also the other party accountable, to where it's basically showing like if the person is a high conflict co-parent, is revealing on its own.
okay.
But it's so much more peaceful with the app. At the end of the day, you don't have to worry about anything, and the court can open it themselves. The judge can see it on their own.
Oh wow. So this thing is really mapped out totally different.
Yes, you can give anybody access. So for me, my lawyer has access to the co-parenting app, and he can see those messages.
Okay. So I heard you say parallel parenting. So
Mhm.
when you say parallel parenting, what does that mean? And is it healthier than like just traditional co-parenting?
Well, I guess that question is, what is traditional co-parenting, right?
Right.
So it depends on the co-parent. There are some co-parents that you can communicate freely, openly with. You guys can kiki, go to do joint birthday parties or do separate birthday parties and attend to. You can go to family events together. Everything is very smooth, but that comes with, again, that type of vulnerability and openness to have that with boundaries, meaning you're not going back to the relationship. There's nothing
Right.
in the past that you want. You guys respect each other enough for the child, and if you have a partnership, respect that as well. Um,
Right.
so, and then again, the traditional aspect as well is not having the child in the picture, or the other parent not being in the picture to the child. So I mean, traditional co-parenting is so wonky because it's different forms of it.
Right.
But I believe parallel parenting is the healthiest option to still be the best parent you can while you're dealing with the difficult co-parent. Because it's not going to reflect you at the end of the day. It's going to reflect them. And the
Right.
child will see that down the road of which parent was doing what, who was being difficult, who was making it harder.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Well, we just got some gems on co-parenting. So to all our younger listeners that are maybe experiencing this, if you want more information, follow Mandy's page. You did something on this high functioning co-parent.
Yes,
Yeah.
I typically do like psychoeducational flyers or charts a couple times a month, and that was one of the things that I wanted to touch on because men and women both go through that. All races go through that.
Right.
And there are support groups out there on Facebook and Instagram to discuss these types of things, and they even offer legal advice. So I just wanted to post it to show like you're not by yourself
Right.
experiencing this. Like it's normal when it shouldn't be normal.
Right. We have another question because
Yes.
we're about to wrap it up. But we got another question in the chat, and it's related. I think it's related to what we just discussed.
Mhm.
Christine, if you want to put that question up.
When the absentee parent is completely toxic and avoiding a healthy co-parent relationship, and the distant makes court more than overwhelming, what options do you have? Ooh. So here's where the petty side kicks in, right? If the parent is absent for more than a year, meaning they're not seeing the child, and if they're not providing for the child, I always tell someone, look up your abandonment laws. I know for the state of Tennessee, if it's more than 18 months, absentee parents' rights are given up. Because sometimes there are some moms who needs the father permission, if they're on the birth certificate, to do a plethora of things, or even for school, they'll go, hey, does the dad give you permission to do this?
Right. Right.
Whereas a mother who doesn't have the father on the certificate doesn't have to deal with that. So the absentee parent is completely toxic, does not want to co-parent, and is further away and does not participate in your overwhelming. That doesn't stop you from being the best parent, whether mother or father, that you can be. I'm always going to say, look up that abandonment law. What does that look like? And what is the timeline for it? And if you qualify for that, get all the proof ready, get all the evidence, do the paperwork that you need to do, and just regain your power and freedom back.
Right.
But if you're wanting that parent to be in that child's life, you can also, I can't say force it. You can get it done, but that's where I go back to, what would that do for you? If
Right.
it's not going to change, and if you force it legally, what is that going to do? Sometimes the best thing is say, hey, just give up your rights and just do what you can if you're not getting anything from it.
Okay. Well, hopefully that helped. Well, Miss Mandy, our time is up. This was awesome. Girl, you hit so many subjects tonight. So many. Um, and now that I'm on your page, I will continue to support you moving forward.
Thank you,
Anything
thank
you
you.
got coming up that you want us to know about?
What do I have coming up? Um, Nothing much yet. I think I may start doing something within next month, but outside of teaching and mommy mode and doing roller coasters, nothing heavy. I will be posting more psychoeducational things. So if anyone has any topics they want me to expand on, send them my way. You can always follow me. I always check my DMs as long as you're not in the spam box.
Right.
I can definitely respond. And even if you just need someone to talk to or just get some counseling or even legal advice from, legal but non-legal, to let me know.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we thank you again. I want to hold our L's up for Live It Out Inc. The relatable counselor. Go ahead and follow
Thank
her on
you.
Instagram. Thank you so much, Amanda. And until next time, Live It Out Inc., we will see you guys on next Tuesday. Have a good night.